Hi, I'm Genetically Modified Skeptic, and you're watching Atheist Edge.
Yeah. So, and what about people that like don't go to church, but you know they do their own thing? I mean, because there's so many different religions. Like who knows what the number is? I even have one.
Right.
I'm a nobody.
Yeah, if you really get into it, it's like okay, but
So what's the truth then? Is I guess what I'm getting at. I mean, what makes you right?
Well, because obviously, as we established, I'm perfect. What makes me?
Because I'm looking for a disciple. That's why I'm trying to recruit you. Go ahead.
You're trying to recruit me.
This is an interview.
Well, see, I'm trying to recruit you.
Oh, okay.
So, God.
Okay.
Oh, it's so tricky.
I want to be the leader, man. Come on.
Well, I mean, you sound like you maybe are better at than me, so you can do that. I'll be in the shadows.
All right.
Well, I look at it from an evidence perspective, and to me, the most baseline feeling, again, kind of back to the point of I'm just as evolved as that flower and as you and as everybody else in this room and everybody else watching at home. It appears to me that being religious is something that humans have evolved to improve their chance of survival and fucking and procreating, right? So religions have existed basically all through history. Like we kind of make jokes about, Zeus and Hera and Yahweh and whatever religions might come after this that we've not have any idea what's going on, and even the obviously fake religions, which they all are, but even the obvious fake religions.
You looked at me when you said that, dude? Come on.
Right. Even the obviously fake religions like Scientology and over in Waco, David Koresh, and they did the big fire a couple of years ago. The only thing that I see as a truth is that people want to be religious.
Okay.
And that apparently is something that I feel probably helped people, especially before people really understood. My big hypothesis, I'm not even going to call it a theory because that word is loaded. My hypothesis is that, for one, even the monkeys do it. Even the monkeys are very territorial, right? Like even monkeys are like, oh, this is my turf, blah, 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 blah. Religion is kind of that same deal. But kind of keeping away outsiders probably protects a population from exotic diseases and risks associated with interacting with other people. And
I always felt religion was trying to bring more people in, right?
Well, they are trying to bring people into their tribe.
Okay.
But for a lot of religions, it's still very important that you be part of their tribe, regardless of how open. I mean, some are legitimately open. I feel like kind of the best religion that is probably doing things legitimately according to what they believe. Lutherans, I think it's Lutherans.
Okay.
And because I don't know, they just seem to actually be open and inviting to everybody. At least some of them. It's probably like a certain sect of a certain sect of a certain sect. But that's like the only religion that I feel like is honestly being true to their religion. Okay. And I do feel like there's a lot of, especially Jesus freaks, who are more along the lines of, they're still kind of xenophobic, right? Like, I feel like it's really the Christians who are like, Mexicans, go back to Mexico. Like, and maybe that's just because of my political views kind of tying in as well. So,
like
I mean,
Christians are racist?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it feels that way. Right. I mean, I feel pretty open to Muslims, right?
Do you think that's more, do you feel then like more Republicans and far right leaning or more of the Christian fanatics?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard to say otherwise.
Yeah.
I feel. Of course, everyone else may feel differently, but yeah, I mean, I feel like to be Christian right now, like if you were to like kind of take a percentage and say, we're just going to look at all Republicans, does their amount of Christianity, people who claim to be Christian, does it match up with an average for the entire population? Like, I feel like in that situation, you would definitely see that, yeah, there's a hell of a lot more Christians that
like
claim to be
thing.
Republican.
Right.
Yeah, than compared to the average of the U.S.
Okay. Yeah, so and like what I was wondering, and whenever I said, what makes you right, and then it's not an attack or anything, but like what I'm trying to get at is like, what is your fundamental thought that ties you into what you believe? So if I asked a Christian or anybody that's religious, they would say, well, God, the Word of God, or maybe that's what they would say. I'm speaking for them, but like what's the absolute fact that you can point to that just really ties in what you believe? You know what I mean? Like, and it's something I couldn't answer. That's why I say, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Not to take words out of your mouth, but if you say, I don't know, to me, there's no reason to even look up in the first place. Because I feel like, maybe for you, there is kind of this kind of initial pull towards religion. And maybe it's because of the way you were brought up. Maybe it's because of something just genetic in all humans that I've somehow like grown away from or have learned to silence in my own head. But why is it immediately thinking maybe there's something else out there? There's no reason for that. There have literally been religions all through history for as long as humans have learned to write, basically, that we can track back and say, there have been religions all this time. None of them have ever proven true. So there is absolutely no reason, to me, to assume that anyone that is existing now is true either. Like, what did we figure out that they fucked up? Probably not much. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
There is no reason to even like, other than the fact that seems to be what people want to do, is think that there's some higher power. But just like just back to the flower, I've evolved just as much as this flower. Well, all the planets in our universe have all come from the same place. So how do we justify that there's some God that did all of that?
You're talking about since the crucibles, the Big Bang.
Yeah, like since the Big Bang, since the dawn of time, like before the Earth was even Earth, when we were probably still just dust floating around, right?
Yeah.
Like, there was no reason for God. So now that there is an Earth, and now that there are people on it, if the only reason for any sort of God is that it seems to be what we want to believe, like, again, maybe there's some reason why we want to have religion, but there's no reason why we should. Like, we want to have a religion. We want to have, and I think a big part of religion is bringing people together. I mean, I go to the Wednesday night meetups at Metroplex Atheist, ding, just so that I can kind of have that fellowship, right?
Yeah.
But, and I think a lot of people go to church for that exact same reason.
Right, yeah.
I mean, absolutely.
We all want to belong to something. I think,
it gives people a sense of belonging, which is very important.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and just to kind of close it off, and I hope to kind of address your question is, I believe that there is nothing, because I feel that the only reason we believe in something is because of some genetic kind of predisposition to.
Okay.
And
so if
that's
someone grew up in a vacuum, do you think that they would try to put this same idea together? You know what I mean? I mean, it's an outrageous,
it's
scenario.
Possible. It depends on more if this is a genetic, like a DNA kind of urge to believe because it's useful. Again, I think that kind of keeping weird things away means that we don't have to interact with them, and sometimes the weird thing is some weird disease that we don't know how to deal with, and so it wipes out half of our population.
Yeah.
But I think if it's genetic in the programming of our DNA kind of way, then yeah, that person might be religious. But if it is all societal, then no.
Okay.
Like, and yeah, I mean, maybe humans try to come up with reasons for things, and a lot of things that seem like magic are later found out to be, people believed that Thor or Zeus or whatever was actually throwing lightning. Like, they thought that, like, they're so fucking dumb. But that was genuine. That was their genuine belief, right? And so now I just look at any other religion that's hanging around. It's like, what are their genuine beliefs that are just later going to be proven wrong?
Yeah.
So that's the difficulty for me, because that's and that's where I'm still trying to balance out. Like, again, like how hard do I resist somebody? How hard do I push against somebody who, I kind of just want them to let them do their thing. But I think religions are dangerous just in general. Like,
Oh, really? Okay.
I think that, and it's a nice closing note because I'm pretty sure we're about out of time.
Yeah.
But I think that religions do more harm than good. And in individual cases, they do good. Because somebody believes they're going to see their grandma again, or somebody believes that their puppy is in heaven, and that makes little Sally stop crying for a few days. Mm-hmm. And those little bits of good aren't worth how bad they are as they kind of pervade our cultures. Like we get planes flying into buildings, we get huge swaths of people voting that probably have like, oh, that's a good Christian who's going to the thing. We don't know what they're doing, but they're Christian, so that means they got a pass, right?
Right.
So it's difficult. It's a balancing act, but yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think when trying to figure out, like, even like I said, it would be tough for me to answer that question that I just asked you. I think going back to the whole communication and talking thing, if we just learn, so even if you are very religious, you should want to not surround yourself, but have the conversations with people that think completely opposite of you. Because, I mean, it's not like it's the flu. You know,
Right.
they sneeze and like, oh no, I'm an atheist. That's what I'm scared of. If y'all have any Germex, let me know.
Yeah.
I don't want to get the atheist bug, you know?
Well, Jesus did drive the demons out into the pigs, so you never know.
I don't know that
maybe
story.
Maybe you might catch it.
But yeah, it's almost like sharpening the blade, though. Like if you're having this conversation with an atheist, with someone who's religious or scientifically driven, whatever. I mean, just it's always good to talk to one another without just being angry.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely. Yeah,
I'm such a hippie, dude. I don't know, man. Just love each other,
don't know,
man.
yeah, well,
that's it.
That's
You're too worked up. Your explanation was very long. Join my religion right now, and all you have to say is, I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's it. You even get a shirt.
it's a good shirt just in
You
general.
just point to the shirt. I don't know.
Yeah. How do I get to the store?
Yeah.
Read the shirt. Dom, thanks for coming on.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me.
You said you have your own podcast. You have your own photography business. So if you would like to share, so everyone can follow you and take.
Yeah. Dudes, let me tell you something real quick. Check me out on YouTube. Don B Podcast. I talk about the funniest stuff in the history of mankind. Never religion. I do talk about religion because I'm trying to recruit you guys. You know that. My army of loyal dudes. I'm on Twitter at Don B Podcast, Instagram at Don B Photography, Facebook. I'm everywhere, dude. If you want me, I'm on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Don B Podcast. I love you guys so much. It hurts.
Atheist Edge. Walking the edge of what some consider offensive. But your feelings don't matter here, only facts. Edgy commentary on the dangers of doctrine, the foibles of faith, the bullshit of belief, the stupidity of superstition, and the idiocy of indoctrination. With razor-sharp wit, curiosity, and critical thought, we take an unblinking look at today's religions. We are Atheist Edge.